Back to you now at 9:21. More than 50 million people in the United States suffer from some type of food allergy. Allergic reactions to food are almost most common in children, but we have researchers right here in Oklahoma that have found a solution to those food allergies. And this morning we're joined by Dr. Stephen Prescott, the president of the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Always enjoy having you on.
Same here.
We appreciate your time. So this is interesting. You know, for most of our lives, we've heard if you're allergic, steer clear completely, but you're saying not the case.
Yeah, well, there have been big studies, and we actually didn't participate in this part of the study, but have done related types of work in allergies about particularly children and peanut allergies. And as you point out, now for the last, I guess 20 or 30 years, the approach has been, stay away from peanuts, keep them out of schools,
right.
Keep them, be very safe. And actually it's been turned on its head now. So after lots of studies, it was found that you can actually prevent the severe allergies, the life-threatening allergies in children, by introducing them to peanut products earlier on in their life, carefully under controlled conditions. And there's some caveats here about how to do that, but that's actually decreases the risk of these serious life-threatening reactions.
And elaborate on the findings of that study. I know they studied hundreds of children under the age of 5. Half of them were given peanut products, half of them weren't.
Correct.
What did they find exactly?
So very large projects. So if they gave them peanut products, peanut butter is usually how they start this.
Or powders.
And they mix them with water or with other things, but typically with water. And start them at a pretty young age, just at a few months old. What they found is that it really markedly decreased their risk of having what's called anaphylaxis. And that's this syndrome where the throat swells, children can't breathe, their blood pressure drops. And
you bring out the EpiPen.
EpiPen, This is exactly what EpiPen is for. And EpiPen does work if you have this, of course. What you hope is to never have the anaphylaxis. It's very dangerous. So that the incidence of that decreased dramatically in these children who'd been exposed to peanuts early on compared to those who were protected from peanuts through their whole childhood.
It really is interesting. And after all of this research that you found, what is your opinion on peanut-free classrooms, peanut-free flights?
Well, I think that we need to be a little bit careful right now because we have a lot of people who didn't have this conditioning, right? And so that we've got a backlog of people who are potentially seriously allergic. So I think it'll need to be a phase-in, but with time, I think that we won't have to do peanut-free schools or peanut-free airplane flights or whatever. There'll be less concern in restaurants and others. I mean, not that we should never ignore it and forget about it, but as we change practices and as we raise children, that the risk of this serious allergy should go away and we can have less emphasis on peanut-free zones, if you will.
And speaking of raising children, talking to maybe the new parents out there who are worried about this, maybe it kind of runs in the family, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, they just changed the guidelines on introducing those kinds of products early on. So what do you tell new parents to do, and at what age?
Yeah, well, at first I'd encourage you to talk to your pediatrician, right? Because there are some things that you need to pay attention to in the child before you start this, right? So there's some children who are going to be at high risk for food allergies, including peanuts, but also eggs and milk and other things. So one would be if they have eczema, so skin rashes, those children are at higher risk, and if they're going to introduce peanut products to them, it needs to be under the supervision of the pediatrician or an allergist because they are at higher risk, and they probably should be observed for the first couple hours after they get some peanuts. So first off, talk about this with a pediatrician at the same time you're doing well baby checks and say, okay, but if your child doesn't have eczema, or the other one would be if they already have a known food allergy like a milk allergy, that's at high risk also. So that category needs to be handled differently. Otherwise, parents can do this at home safely, but I would only do it, if you've discussed it with a pediatrician or family practitioner, whoever's helping care for the child, and say, okay, I plan to start this. I mean, introduce solid foods first is the recommendation, and then, within a few weeks after that, begin to introduce some peanut products.
Okay, good to know, and thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
And if you really take the time to think about it, the body is just fascinating.
Yeah.
What is an allergy in the first place, and why do some people have them, maybe even in the same family, and others do not?
Well, they typically run in families, although the inheritance pattern is very complicated. We cannot predict accurately whether one person will have an allergy because their parents did or their siblings do, whatever. But certainly there's an increased risk in families, that's for sure.
Yes.
Now, why? Now, this is the kind of thing that our scientists work on, because we work on how the immune system functions normally. The immune system is there to protect us from viruses like influenza or bacteria or yeast or fungus or things like that, something foreign that's not us, right? But our body, it makes mistakes. The immune system makes mistakes, and that's what we study. Why does it make mistakes and suddenly recognize even part of us as foreign? So that's what happens in autoimmune diseases like lupus erythematosus, which we study, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis. Our immune system attacks our own body. Likewise, for reasons we don't totally understand, we'll decide that something in our diet or something we inhale, like pollen, that's an invader, they'll say, the immune system say. I'm going to make antibodies. I'm going to try to go kill it.
And just get it out. Okay.
Yeah. And it gets very complicated with allergies in that we make a particular kind of antibody that leads to these serious problems like anaphylaxis.
It's just very interesting. My family, Dad, Mom, and I get esophageal spasms too. Him to avocados, us to chicken, and then sister, my younger sister, is completely void of all allergic reactions. So I've just been fascinated for a long time. Thank you so much for clarifying, and hopefully a lot of people were listening to this interview.
I hope so too.
All right.
Thank you.
Doctor, thank you so much, as always.